Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Sivan, today we are going to discuss the chapter 4 of section 4, Companions of the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him. So, we will discuss 10 blessed companions. They are also known as Ashra Mubashra. 10 blessed companions are those companions and true followers of the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, who were given the good news of entry into paradise during their lifetime. They are Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq Razila Talano, Hazrat Umar Razila Talano, Hazrat Usman Razila Talano, Hazrat Ali Razila Talano, Hazrat Talha bin Ubaidullah Razila Talano, Hazrat Zubair bin Awam Razila Talano, Hazrat Abdul Rahman bin Auf Razila Talano, Hazrat Saad bin Abi Waqas Razila Talano, Hazrat Saeed bin Zaid Razila Talano, and Hazrat Abu Ubaidah bin Jarrah Razila Talano. First of all, we will discuss Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq Razila Talano. Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq was the first free male adult to become a Muslim and accepted Islam without any hesitation. And after accepting Islam, he preached the message of Islam to the other people, and many people accepted Islam by the preaching of Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq Razila Talano. He got the title of Siddiq, testifier of truth, from the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, when he testified the event of Miraj. Abu Bakr Siddiq Razila Talano dedicated his whole life to the service of Islam. At the time of Tabuk expedition, he contributed all his wealth for the sake of Islam. So this is the exemplary in the life of Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq Razila Talano. He was with the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, at the time of migration to Medina. His daughter Hazrat Aisha Razila Talana was the loveliest wife of the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, which further strengthened their friendship. He also always stood by the side of the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, during the most critical period of his mission and shared all his hardships. At the time of the Treaty of Hudaybiyah, when many companions were in critical situation on the terms of the treaty, Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq Razila Tanana supported the Prophet, peace be upon him. At the time of the Hajj in 9AH, Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, selected Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq Razila Tanana as Amir Hajj, and also led the congregational prayers during the Prophet's last illness. Hazrat Umar R.A, the second rightly guided caliph, after conversion to Islam, Umar R.A, he proved himself a true follower of the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him. Even before embracing Islam, he was the bitterest enemy of the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him. But when he converted to Islam, so at that time, Islam started to pray openly in Makkah. After the conversion, Hazrat Umar Tananu became the target of enmity and persecution on the hands of pagans. He migrated to Medina shortly, and at the time of before the migration of the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, to the Medina. His daughter Hazrat Hafsa Razila Anhu got married with the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him. He participated in all the battles with the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, and one of his most trusted companions and advisor. Hazrat Usman Razila Anhu, he was the first Umayyad to become a Muslim, and after embracing Islam, he persecuted many times, even by his uncle. He was suffered many hardships. But when he accepted Islam, he remained steadfast and firm in his belief. He was a very belonged to generous family and wealthiest family, and he gave his wealth every time for the sake of Islam. He got the title of Zunnurain because he got married with the two daughter of the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him. He got the title of Ghani because of his generosity by the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him. Hazrat Ali R.A, he was the first cousin of the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, and was the first among children to convert to Islam. And he was the second person to become a Muslim, the first being Hazrat Khadija, the wife of the Prophet, peace be upon him. When Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, asked the Hashmid family to help him in his mission, Hazrat Ali R.A was only the person who responded to his call. At the time of the Mawakhat, the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, declared Hazrat Ali R.A as his brother. He got married with the loveliest daughter of the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, Hazrat Fatima Raziyallahu Ta'ala Anha. He was a very brave person and participated in all battles with the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him. At the time of the Khyber expedition, his fight and his contribution is exemplary, and he got the title of Asadullah from the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him. Hazrat Talha bin Ubaidullah Raziyallahu Ta'ala Anhu. He was the grand nephew of Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq Raziyallahu Ta'ala Anhu and converted Islam by the preaching of Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq Raziyallahu Ta'ala Anhu. Talha was a brave soldier. He took part in all the battles except Badr because at that time he had been sent by the Prophet, peace be upon him, on a mission outside Medina. Hazrat Talha Raziyallahu Ta'ala Anhu was present at the time of the Treaty of Hudaybiyah. His bravery resulted in the victory for the Muslims in the Battle of Hunain. Hazrat Ali R.A., one of the six companions who were chosen by Hazrat Umar R.A. by appointed as Khalifa after his death. He was not present at the time of Hazrat Usman's election but swore allegiance to him after returning to Medina. He was killed during the Khilafat of Hazrat Ali R.A. Hazrat Zubair R.A. Hazrat Zubair belonged to a family that had accepted Islam in the early stages. His mother was Hazrat Safiya R.A. as an aunt of the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him. Hazrat Zubair was among those who migrated Abyssinia, then Medina, but soon returned to Mecca. Hazrat Zubair was very rich and generous, and he was respected by the tribe. He was one of the 6 men recommended by Hazrat Umar as his successor to the Khalifa. About Hazrat Talha and Zubair, the Prophet, peace be upon him, reported to have said, "Talha and Zubair are my neighbors in paradise." Hazrat Abdurrahman bin Auf Raziyallahu Ta'ala Anhu. Abdurrahman bin Auf Raziyallahu Ta'ala Anhu, he was he belonged to a very wealthiest family, and he was a very generous person, and he was one of the respected companions of the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him. He spent most of his wealth to help the needy and the poor people. He was made Amir Hajj during the Khilafat of Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq, Hazrat Umar and Hazrat Usman Raziyallahu Ta'ala Anhu. According to the tradition, he was the 13th person to become a Muslim. Abdurrahman Raziyallahu Ta'ala Anhu, among the first batch of the 15 Muslims that migrated to Abyssinia, returned to Mecca and then migrated to Medina. Hazrat Saad bin Abi Waqas Raziyallahu Ta'ala Anhu. Saad bin Abi Waqas Raziyallahu Ta'ala Anhu was the uncle of the Prophet, peace be upon him, was born in Mecca, accepted Islam at the invitation of Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq Raziyallahu Ta'ala Anhu. In the early years of Islam, the Muslim used to offer his prayers outside Mecca. Due to the persecution of Quraysh, one day during the prayers, the unbelievers interrupted them, which led to the fight. Saad Raziyallahu Ta'ala Anhu struck and wounded one of them. So he was the first Muslim to have shed blood for the cause of Islam. Saad Raziyallahu Ta'ala Anhu was a great warrior and took part in all the battles during the time of Prophet, peace be upon him. During time of Hazrat Umar Raziyallahu Ta'ala Anhu, in battle of Qadsiya, he was fought against the Persians, and even he was ill, but he instructed to his army and won. Hazrat Umar recognized his great military and administrative service on his deathbed. He was buried in Medina and he is said to have left large property behind him. Hazrat Saeed bin Zaid anhu, he was a brother-in-law of Hazrat Umar anhu and a devoted companion of the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him. He was not yet 20 when he embraced Islam. His wife Fatima was the sister of Hazrat Umar anhu. He participated in all battles with the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, and contributed every time for the sake of Islam. He learned the Quran with great fondness and attention. And the Prophet, peace be upon him, said about him, if anyone likes to recite the Quran as fresh as it has descended, then he must recite it one of the reading of Abdullah bin Masud Raziyallahu Ta'ala Anhu. So Hazrat Umar sent him to Umar sent him to Kufa as an administrator of the public treasury and as a teacher of the religion. Hazrat Abu Ubaidah bin Jarrah Raziyallahu Ta'ala Anhu. Abu Ubaidah bin Jarrah Raziyallahu ta'ala anhu, one of the most true follower and devoted companion of the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him. He participated in the battles with the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him. Early converter he was, and he first migrated to Abyssinia, then later to Medina. In Medina, he remained a sincere companion of the Prophet, peace be upon him, as was always ready to help the Prophet, peace be upon him. He came face to face with his father at the time of the Badr, and he was greatly upset, but he had to kill him for the sake of Islam. During the Battle of Uhud, he was one of those Muslims who encircled the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, when the Quraysh attacked him. When he was hit on the cheek, Abu Ubaidah bin Jarrah Razillah Ta'ala pulled out the metal links of his helmet, straps out of the wound with his teeth, and the process broke two of his teeth. So, at the time of the conquest of Makkah, he was commanded of one of the four columns into which the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, divided the army. During the Khilafah of Abu Bakr Siddiq Raziyallahu Ta'ala anhu, he was a successful commander, and during the time of Hazrat Umar, he conquered Damascus, where he is said to be buried.